welcome to another segment of Keep the Lights On, and we are here at Hopwood Wineries today, and boy is this place beautiful, and I was making the comment, there's a lot of wine here.
A lot of wine.
So we're here with the owner, Ron Hopwood, and he's going to talk to us today about all things wine, and this is a pretty nice place to chill and have a glass of wine. What are you drinking today?
Well, of course, this is one of the Strauss collections here. This is, of course, all our wine is very prized wine, but this one here is just a beloved one that has taken numerous big trophies for us.
Awesome.
And so that's why I thought in today's celebration, I thought I would break open a bottle of this. We'll be doing some testing on and things of that sort.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
So, how many years have you been here?
Well, we opened up in 2012. We've been here for 8 years. But I've been making wine since probably about 1994.
Wow.
94, so about 25 years I've been making wines.
So, you also have a new location that you're going to be opening up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh boy. Yep, thanks for joining us. Today we will just unveil, right now we just received the distillery permit. We can now sell distillery products at our other location.
Hey!
Yep, that just came yesterday.
Wonderful.
So now, of course, now we're in the midst of getting other things taken care of, but we can sell. That's located at 2055 South US 421. It's right there on the corner of 200 South and 421. It's got a barn on the property that was built in 1840, nearly 200 years ago.
Wow.
We're hoping to save that barn. It needs some work and things of that sort, but we're hoping to save it. That's going to be the distillery. And the name of the distillery is William Rose Distillery. Is what it's going to be, of course, under Hopwood's umbrella here.
Awesome.
The name of that location over there will be Hopwood Winery, Distillery, Vineyard, and Event Center. So we've got the barn there. We're building a production room on the very back. We've completely outgrown this location back here. So we're going to move the production over to there. And then, of course, in about 3 years, that's when we're going to build the main winery in the very center of the property. And that will house the large weddings and things of that sort. So big news coming. Even through everything in the last few months, we're still moving very strong to get that taken care of.
That's wonderful.
It's wonderful, yes,
Wow.
indeed.
We love hearing people grow. I mean, that's what we want. And, you know, that's nice that the community has rallied around and supported you and been here so that you want to stay. And that's exactly what we want to hear.
That's right.
So, with that, you have been making and enjoying fine wines for many years. So tell us a little bit about what got you into winemaking.
Well, I tell you, it started 25 years ago. I just started finding my love for wine. I would get into going to the store and trying to purchase some wine. But I found out real quick, Allison, that everything you find in the store, most everything, it's all the same. Everything's the same. The same regions, the same 4 or 5 different wines. And I knew that there was 5,000 different grapes out there. Why are we drinking the same 4? And that's what we do. We all drink the same 4, name them. We sell them here as well, but of course they're premium here. So I thought, you know what, I want to start making it on my own. And that's when I started making it. We deal in blends, we deal in big fruit. Of course, what you want to taste in a bottle of wine is fruit and alcohol. People confuse that all the time. They taste fruit and they think it's sweetness. No, what you're tasting is fruit. You want to be able to taste it. If you don't taste fruit, then somebody's covering that up with something else, oak or tannins or anything else that they're putting in that bottle to cover up the fruit. You want to be able to taste it. And I couldn't taste it in a lot of these wines that I buy at the grocery store for 10, 15, 20, 25 bucks. I can't taste it. I taste nothing else I don't taste the grape. And that's why I started making wines. And we believe that we have truly perfected winemaking here.
So what are some of your other favorite wines, other than you're talking about the big 4? What are some of the other ones that you use that you're like, these are amazing?
Yeah, try a Chambourcin. Chambourcin grows very well here in the Midwest. Try it. Most wineries do have some type of a Chambourcin. Chambourcin makes a great dry to a sweet wine. It grows very well here in the Midwest. It's very fruity. And that throws some people off because they're like, oh, it's a little too fruity. They're not used to that fruit because we're used to the grocery store wines. But I love Chambourcin. Traminette. Traminette's the Indiana State grape.
I love Traminette.
Traminette's delicious.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. There's Traminette out there, and it grows very well here in the Midwest. Very similar to like a Gewürztraminer. It's got that spiciness, but it's a white wine there. So those are 2 right there that are just wonderful. Will you find Chambourcin in the grocery store? Nope. unfortunately. Unfortunately. And what is happening there is basically the people making the decision on purchasing wines for those stores, don't quote me on this, but they don't have a large expansion of their wine minds, if you will. They buy what the newspaper or what the magazine said was a 94 pointer, and that's what they put in the store. But it was a 94 pointer to one person. One person said that's a 94 pointer. Does that mean it's going to be good for you and for you? No, definitely not. And there's the problem. One person says it's 94, everyone rushes and they buy it off the shelf.
And there's such different growing conditions. You're talking about all the different types of grapes, and the Indiana grape. That grape was developed to grow in Indiana soil and weather conditions. So it's going to perform at a premium here in Indiana versus something that was made to grow in a southern state or a California wine.
That's right. Exactly.
So for a grape.
Yeah, there's a lot of course, Purdue University, University of Minnesota. There's a wonderful vineyard out in Illinois that's planting and grafting wonderful vines that grow very well here in the Midwest, but you couldn't grow anywhere else.
Right. Well, and growing conditions you were talking about on the webinar makes such a difference in the taste of that grape and when they're harvested and all of that.
That's right.
So for everyone that isn't familiar, what does that process look like? I mean, if you're looking to harvest a grape, what does it look like to have a grape grown in a different type of soil or harvested at a different time? What does that flavor profile look like?
Well, the terroir is everything. Of course, it's the terroir. And it's the yeast. People forget about the yeast. There's hundreds, actually, if you talk to a biologist, she'll tell you that there's thousands of different yeast out there. But in the wine business, there's probably about 20 or 25 of them that we use. So the yeast makes a big difference. But the terroir includes the weather, the rain, the soil, everything right on down to you pruning it as well. That all makes up different taste flavors in there. And of course, now when you go up north, Michigan area, like they do wonderful on their Rieslings, very acidic wines up there. And down in here, we like the Chamberson. Chamberson can become very acidic wine as well. You go out west, they're not as acidic. So the acidic is probably the easiest profile that people can pick up on because that's the lasting one that's in that glass of wine.
So before we get to talking about all your different varieties of wine, tell us, if someone wanted to buy something from you, where can they go?
Yeah. Well, of course, we do 85% of all our sales are right through the tasting room here at 12 East Cedar Street here in Zionsville. We do ship, and our shipping sales have gone through the roof. We love shipping. You can go on to hopwoodcellars.com and we can ship it to you. We ship cases for free to 39 states.
Wow.
Yep, you get a whole case, and plus we also would offer a discount there as well. So shipping is probably ideal. We do carry out and we do curbside pickup as well. We are in some, we're in a few Myers, Target, and Kroger's, and we're in some liquor stores out there as well. We are in some of those stores, but it's very, very select on which stores have it. If they don't have us, all you have to do is ask. That is the most important thing. Customers call me all the time and they say, Ron, why don't you get your wines into this store? And I'm like, why don't you do me a favor? I've called that store 1,000 times and they always keep saying, Ron, no one's asking for your wine. So I say, you're the customer. You have a very powerful voice. Please just bug them to carry Hopwood and they will start carrying it.
That's right.
I can call them all day long and they won't put it in their wines in their store. So if the customer would just ask for it, we distribute to a large distributor here in Indiana. They go to every single store. So if you go in and you say, can you get me Hopwood wines? If they give you any excuse in the book, they just don't want to go through the process of checking Hopwood wine.
Well, we'll do our best to make sure that Facebook land knows to say, we want Hopwood wine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what's your phone number here?
317-873-4099.
And you can also find you on Facebook.
Facebook, yes, Hopwood Cellars Winery on Facebook, and of course the website as well, hopwoodcellars.com. There's all the kinds of information on the on the website. Yep.
So we're going to go through some of the different varieties of wine that they have here today, so that you can learn a little bit more about wine, so I can learn a little bit more about wine.
You will learn something.
I love learning something, and I think it's so fascinating whenever we can learn about what goes into winemaking and what makes one wine taste very different than another, even though, you know, in the bottle, it's hard to tell unless you know that and unless you want to go through and read. This is a great way to up your wine game really fast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You come here, our staff is very knowledgeable. They can teach you all kinds of things there, things that you didn't know.
So what's the experience like here? You want to come in, you want to do a tasting. Tell someone what it's going to look like if they want to do a tasting.
Yeah. Well, you come on in, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to greet you with a smile. That's the most important thing. We want to drop your guard. We don't care if you know a lot about wine or you don't know anything about wine. We're going to teach you either way and be friendly to you. So we're going to ask you to come right up to the bar there. And then that's where we're going to, you have a wine list up there of all 27 of our wines. And you can choose 5 of them. And we will give you a small little sample taste there. And we will talk you through it. And of course, there's flavor profiles on the wine list. You may or may not be able to find them. Of course, it depends on the weather outside and your mood, your stress level. Everything depends on those experiences in life, whether what you're going to find in that glass of wine. And that's what we're there to expose. We're there to talk about and bring it out. That will make your experience much, much better. And hopefully, in turn, then you will pick up some bottles of wine and take home.
Yeah. And if someone says, okay, you know what, I'm not a wine person, I just don't know enough about wine, but I know I like sweet wine. Are you going to be able to kind of direct them within those kind of flavor categories into wines that you have here?
Absolutely. I was just talking with our other wine steward yesterday, Ellen, about that. So many people talk about flavor profiles with dry red wines and dry white wines. Nobody talks about flavor profiles of sweet wines. One, because most sweet fans, they don't care. They just want to know, do I like it? Does it taste good? And that's a wonderful, wonderful way to look at it. But why not try to dive into a sweet wine and have some fun with trying to find the apple notes in there and maybe a little bit of the flint in there, things of that sort. So that's a market that has not been tapped into.
I'm willing to tap.
Just tap all of them. Even though we don't tap wines here, but I'm teasing.
I really like sweet wine, and
Wonderful.
Whenever I drink wine, I like a flavorful sweet wine, but I don't want something that's so sweet that it overpowers maybe what I'm eating with it. You know, if I want to have a dessert wine, I actually like a sweet wine with dessert, and sometimes you can get too much sweet there. So, you know, I love the Traminette, and I love a Catawba, and I love wines like that, but I'm sure I can learn from you a little bit more about what I like in my sweet wines.
Well, I tell you, when we step up there, with you being on the clock, I understand you won't be able to taste anything, but I will taste it for you.
Okay.
I will taste it for you, and we will talk about some of the notes
That's perfect.
that I'm getting out of there, and I hope you will as well.
Okay. So let's take a tour of your lovely location here, and you can tell us more about the wines that you have here and the different varieties and what people can purchase today. And so you're here on Facebook Live with us. If there is something that you love and you're like, oh my gosh, start me a case, let us know, because we have someone monitoring all of the comments and we can put those wines aside for you. Just let us know. We'd be happy to help you, and you can come and pick them up here at Hopwood, or you could figure out shipping with all these nice fine folks. I'm sure they have ways to get this to you. So just let us know, or if you want us to go back and talk about something else or more, or explain something else, just let us know. We're here to answer questions for you. So, all right. Show me what you got.
Okay. Head right up there. Even though this was extremely comfortable here, and that's a wonderful little seating area to have some food and some wine to sit there. There's some music, and of course we do live music in here as well. And of course, those are the best seats in the house right there, because you're seeing the musicians from right there and everything. So, but yeah, what we have here is, of course, we do make it all here. We are a true winery with the storefront here. Of course, the other location will have 9 acres. That will be the vineyard there as well, and then we'll bring it over here. But we'll start making it over there. But yeah, we make everything right here in-house. So we can talk about all different types of things, everything from making it to drinking it. Of course, of course. But I'll tell you what, let's just open up a quick bottle of wine right here, if we shall. I'm going to talk to you. This is oh, by the way, and we have wonderful deals coming up here in just a moment. So hang with us there, guys. You're going to want to be part of these deals. The first wine that we're going to open up, and this is the bartender's friend right here. This is the most simplest one and the most least expensive wine opener to use. This here is a Helix version. There's two different versions. This is the Helix version, and then there's an auger. The auger is much thicker, and when you see it, you'll notice it's much thicker. There is the thin one. I prefer the thin ones. It doesn't break the cork, and it doesn't push the cork down into the wine there, but a lot of them have augers. Now this is the double ratcheting one here. You can see it, that's the double ratcheting. Without that would be a single one. This is the double ratcheting. And this wine that we're about to open up is the Blaufränkisch. This bottle will catch you about $50 a bottle right here. This is 3 years in the making. This collection, there's 3 of them, has taken 17 plus medals, including Best of Show and the best cab in the country right here. And this Blaufränkisch is to die for. It has 6 different varietals in here, extremely complex and very, very delicious. They're all wax sealed, and people get they get intimidated when they see the wax. They're like, well, I don't know what to do with it, so they start cutting it off. No need to cut it off. You open it up just like a regular bottle of wine. Now, what I like to do is I like to start off with a twist already. I already get a twist going in there, because that saves you 1 extra turn. I can open up bottles very quickly this way. People will open up like this, and then they have to spin everything. I'm already twisting everything, this hand and that hand, and I'm going right down into the center there, and I'm pushing. And then you just twist right into there. Just twist it right on in. Now, you'd want to go in fairly far, because we use very expensive corks here. These are long corks here. Some places use the shorter cork. You don't have to go in as far. I had a restaurant years ago that carries our wine. They said, Ron, everybody's breaking your corks over here. Can you come and show us how to open up a bottle of wine? I said, well, yes. So we sent our wine steward up there, and we realized they weren't going down far enough. They were stopping halfway and pulling out the cork. You got to get right down in there. If you're using a Helix corkscrew, there's a 99% chance you will not push any cork at all through there if you did go too far. If you did. But that is all the way down in there, and you can see how far that is. And it's just, I can barely see it popping through. Matter of fact, no, I take that back. That's the other side of the wax there. So but even if it did, you can still go down a little further. You're not going to push anything through. Then you work off the first ratchet there, and you press hard, and you lift. Did you see that? That's wonderful wax there. That is not cheap wax. You can see it just snapped right off. It doesn't crumble or anything of that sort. Now I raised it. Now I'm going to the second one, and that's where you lift it right up. Now, of course, this is wine. It's not champagne, so we want to then cover it up and let it go like that. We don't want to hear the pop. I know that everyone loves the pop there, but it's not champagne. And there. Now you just take it right off. And then you do it like this. Now, here's a very interesting fact. Oh, by the way, I'm going to sell this bottle here for $26. This is $20 off through the rest of this week right here.
Wow.
$26. It's a $50 bottle of wine, and you're going to love it. I'm telling you.
That's a deal.
That is a deal. Now, this here, this is the cork. Now, of course, you know, when you're at a restaurant and the waiter or the waitress will hand you the cork, you know what you should do with that cork? What should you do with that cork?
What do I do with a cork? Well, you know, I guess it could be used, because we've all been in quarantine too long, to put in my mouth whenever I need to insert my foot. I'm just kidding. So, there's one idea.
Oh, well, that's not bad. I like that.
Thank you.
That actually might be better than my idea.
Oh, well.
I'll tell you a few ideas.
What do you know?
Also, what you can do. Of course, people love to smell it. It smells delicious. It will tell you a little bit about the wine there.
Oh, I can smell it.
But it won't tell you everything about the wine there.
Okay.
What you should actually do is you should just actually inspect the cork. Now, of course, believe it or not, there's a lot of fraud in wine. Lots of fraud. And I don't know if you remember years ago, I forget the name of the movie. He's a fella that, of course, he's in jail now, because we called him, he's the Bernie Madoff of the wine industry. He was taking out a lot of expensive bottles of wine, putting in cheaper stuff, and recorking it and selling it. The Koch brothers, they bought a lot of the wine from him as well. I don't know, I forget that. I wish I knew the name of the movie. It was a wonderful, well, it was more of a documentary, but very exciting. So what you do is you look at it, and you can see that we put our names on there. Most people put their names on their cork. So you make sure you look at it. If they're opening up that bottle of wine behind the doors there, you should probably, if you're spending some money on a bottle of wine, you're going to want to say, can you open it up in front of me? believe it or not. So they open it up in front of you, and you can see that's a Hopwood bottle of wine. By the way, for every bottle you buy, we'll throw one of these in for free. Right there, it comes right out. It's yours. You can have it. So you inspect it with that. Now you know, okay, that is a Hopwood bottle of wine. Now what else you should do is, the corks will tell you everything. This here, let me spin this around, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, maybe in the light here. Do you see where, yes. See where the wine went from one end to the other? That's a bad cork. That means that if wine got out, oxygen got in there. And that, of course, that oxygen displaced the wine there. Now, it doesn't mean that the wine is bad. It just means that it's suspect. That means you should take it to another level, taste it, and then you make your judgment call off of that there. But that will tell you a lot right there. That's a bad cork right there. I went into a restaurant the other day, and they were serving this wine right here, and I touched the bottle when they brought it out, and I turned to my wife and I said, that bottle is hot. I said, that's odd. So when she uncorked it, she handed me this cork right here. And you see how the red, see the wine trying to get out? It's halfway up. Now, I knew that this wine was only 3.5 years old. I drink a lot of 15-year-old bottles of wine. That's normal for 15, not for 3.5. So I'm saying, buddy, I said, buddy, you're boiling that wine back there. I said, where are you storing this wine at? And they said, well, we store it in the kitchen. I said, well, get it out of the kitchen. That's the worst place to store your wine. That temperature goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So hopefully they took it out of there. That's something else. If a restaurant carries Hopwood wines, we will come and educate. We will educate your wine steward as well, and your sommelier. We will educate them. So
this cork, it is just, it's got color on the end, nothing coming down the side, and it doesn't look like it's bleeding up. So that's a good cork.
That's a great cork right there.
Got it.
That's a good cork there. So absolutely.
Do you want me to grab the phone?
Oh yes, thank you, Ellen. Yes, thank you.
That's someone calling to order a case of wine.
We have our callers are standing by. And so it's wonderful. So Ellen just started with us today, so she might have a question for me here in a minute there. So, but that's what you do. You inspect that cork, then you take it to another level there. So that's telling you a lot about the corks there. So remember, if you order a bottle of Hopwood wine, or if you're a restaurateur, please have Hopwood wines available. But let's go ahead and break out a little bit of this Blaufränkisch here. Oh.
Okay.
Now, I love that sound. That's a beautiful
sound. That is a beautiful
sound. Isn't that
sound.
a great sound there?
May I, since I can't drink it?
Oh, absolutely,
Nice.
yes. Matter of fact, I'll even let you sniff that
that
glass all you
smells
want.
So good.
We don't mind hearing that sound again.
Wow. Yeah, this, we need smell-o-vision because this smells delicious.
This is the Blaufränkisch. There's 6 different varietals are in here. Everything from Blaufränkisch to the Cab Franc, to a little bit of Cab Sauv, to some Merlot, and get this, a Dornfelder. You probably never heard of Dornfelder.
I haven't, but I haven't heard of Blaufränkisch either.
Well, Blaufränkisch, some people call it Blue Franc because they can't pronounce the Blaufränkisch, but it's also a Limburger. Not Limburger cheese, but it's called Limburger. That's what they'll call it in Germany.
Okay.
Limburger, Blaufränkisch, and Blue Franc is what it is. All the exact same thing.
Oh.
You will find it more. A lot of your Bordeaux's will have some Blaufränkisch in it. A lot of your blends have Blaufränkisch in it.
Okay, so is Blaufränkisch a type of grape?
That is the grape.
Okay.
Yep, that is the name of the grape there. Yep. And of course, what's neat about the Blaufränkisch, and of course, you can see that it just has that beautiful color to it. Now, this is 3 years old, so you can see that white rim around the edge there. That's how you can tell. Now, of course, that tells you the legs as well when it goes up on the side of the glass there. But you're looking at that space on the outside, that white. That's telling you. Of course, if I had a wine that didn't have much age on it, I don't remember which wine that one was. No, that's the same there. But so you want to judge it by the color. That's why we here at Hopwood, we use big bowl glasses here. Even on a small little sample, you want to be able to swirl that around. You know what's actually happening when you swirl that around?
No. I don't.
I love it. I love it. Well, actually, of course, everyone's very familiar with that's what's releasing the aromas up, and that's what you're getting in there. But exactly what's happening is alcohol evaporates much faster than any other liquid. If I put a little bit of, probably, well, even rubbing alcohol, if you put some rubbing alcohol in a glass of wine and you spin it around and just watch it, it's dropping down, but it's evaporating, dry as can be on the side there. So as that alcohol is evaporating, it's carrying the aromas up. That's what's bringing up the aromas. Say if you put some Kool-Aid in here, you're not going to get that because there's no alcohol to release that's bringing it up. So that's what's carrying the aromas. Now, of course, there's two different sides to this glass to smell. You smell at the bottom, that's the heavier fruit. You smell up to the up to the top, you get a whole nother. You get some of the flint. You get some of the other aromas up there.
You're kidding. So you're supposed to smell it in two different
areas. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so you're talking about the white rim. What does the white rim do? What does that say?
Well, if the white rim tells you age.
Okay.
Tells you age. If I opened up a bottle of wine that we just bottled, no more than that's only about 6 months old, you wouldn't see hardly any white rim at all.
Okay.
Pour a little bit of Kool-Aid into a wine glass, and you can see that it has hardly any white rim on it. It's just juice right up to the end there. Has no age or anything of that sort. That has age. Now,
so the older it would be, the more of a white rim you'll get.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely, yes. And of course, your red wines will actually become a little more orangier, if you will. Now, orange is bad. Orangier is good, if that makes sense. So they will get a little lighter, a little hint of orange in there. So, so the colors will change as well. Just a little fun fact there. But in here, see, I'm getting pale ruby. That's what we call a pale ruby right there. It's just a beautiful color.
It's a beautiful looking wine.
That is a nice wine. We drink this a lot. We love La Franche. Look at that. I can even read I can even read our wine list right behind there. That is just clean wine right there. And so on the aromas, you're going to get some chocolate notes. You'll definitely get pepper. Pepper's very, I mean, you can pick up a lot of pepper in dry red wines. Of course, I definitely get the pepper. Maybe a little bit of I get the smoke. The smoke is coming from the oak that this sat in. We do use actual oak. And then actually, surprisingly, I get a little soy sauce in there. A little bit of soy sauce. And now, of course, that depends on my experiences in life, and you will come up with other things. And all these notes here, these notes come from the entire staff, not just from me, because it's almost like when you're smelling wine, it just takes you back. You smell it, and you're like, you know what, this reminds me of the tulips, of the lilies when I was running through the field with my father or something. Your olfactory sense never forgets that. When you taste wines, you want to be able, of course, the most important part is the aroma. 70% of all taste is right through this guy right here. That's why you can't taste anything when you have a cold. 70% is all right through here. And that's the olfactory senses. And some scientists believe that the olfactory sense can pick up well over 1 million different scents. Wow. Recently, scientists believe it's closer to 1 trillion. Now you're thinking, okay, how can that possibly be? That's every single one of your experiences in life since you were a baby. It's not taste, because most people are like, wait, I only know of 4 or 5 different tastes: the umami, the sweet, the salty, the sour. That's where most people just limit their ability, and that's all they try to find in wines. Now you're using the million, the trillion different olfactory senses to find the experiences in life now. That's why you could hit 1 trillion of stuff.
Wow. See, this is deep conversation over wine some night. You need to come in here and talk to Ron. I love it.
Our staff knows these things. Our staff talks these things, and that's the people that we hired here.
That's awesome.
They're not here to talk about the weather. We'll leave that up to Channel 8 right there. And no, but let me go ahead and taste it, and I'll see what I can come up with you guys right here. I really wish you guys could join me. Okay, most people judge a wine on the initial and the finish. These wines are to be judged on the body of it. On the finish, you get the acidity. Well, it's wonderful. And oh gosh, it's lingering. It's just hanging on there. But in the middle, I get dark chocolate. I get a little sea salt in there. Of course, the cherry, very pronounced in dry reds. Pepper, a little bit of hazelnut, and of course the spice on the finish there. That's wonderful. Nice. That's a great wine right there. I started trying to figure it out from the body of it. I didn't wait till it was all gone. It's the same thing when you're pairing wines with food. It's very important that you put the food in your mouth, you chew it up, and you take a sip of wine. Most people will use wine as a wash. They will take a bite, swallow it, and then sip the wine. It's not a wash. That's what the water's there for. What wine is there for is, it's the same thing as mashed potatoes and gravy. You don't take a bite of mashed potatoes, swallow it, and then take a bite of gravy. You mix it together. That's the marriage that makes a wonderful wine right there. Huh. And so that's how you pair wines with food. Most people are forgetting that part there. You mix it together. It sounds kind of gross though, but you're mixing it in your mouth, and that's what you're getting.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know wine, and you're talking about all these different notes, so this is a certain type of grape. Are these other things that are added in during the process of making the wine, like the dark chocolate note?
Oh, wonderful.
Or is it something that is actually coming from your taste memory?
Oh, right. Yeah, no, we add chocolate bars to it.
Oh!
No
Just
chocolate
curious.
bars.
Okay, I
Wonderful
love it even more, and I haven't even tried
That's
that one.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Yeah, there are no, we don't add any flavors or any additives. And when I say additives, we do add potassium metabisulfites to it to age the wine, but we don't add anything to it. These notes are actually what's coming from the terroir to the type of yeast that we use, and then, of course, like the smoke and the spices and things. That's coming from the oak that we put in there. So those are the three combinations. And then we bring people in, including we bring customers in when we open up a new wine, and they tell us what they're tasting as well. So we're tasting it from a lot of different types of people here.
Awesome.
Yep, but no flavors added. That's right. Oh gosh.
That, it was a question I just had to have answered.
I love it.
Piqued my curiosity.
I love it. Oh, by the way, we do have wine club here too. If you want to save on wines every single day, we have the wine club members get 25% off a case, and they get that off of club pricing. And let me tell you, club pricing with 25% off equals almost 44% off of most of these bottles of wine. We really take care of our club members. We do take care of them. And of course, a lot of the club members have already been over to the other new property to be able to walk the property and take a look at it and things of that sort. So we take care of them. So we got 2 wine clubs. You're welcome to join it. It's free to sign up. And then, of course, you get special pricing, and you get invited to all the parties as well.
Everybody loves a party.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
So this is where, if you're coming in to do a tasting, this is where you would do your tasting here at Hopwood. So, this is a beautiful bar, and it looks like a cork top here. This is really fascinating.
I get that.
Neat.
Yeah. Put a little marine finish on it. It beads up really nice. But yes, this is where you'll hang out right here. We have the water to rinse our glass. And should you choose to spit, which we've never seen that happen before because it's a delicious wine, but you can spit in there, or we will rinse your glass, and that's what we'll pour into there as well. And so sometimes people put their food in there. They're not sure what this is for. They'll put all kinds of stuff in there. Dollar bills. They'll put all kinds of fun stuff in there. But let's. I want you to smell this. This is the cavort. This is the semi. We just call them semis. We don't call them semi-sweet or semi-dry because one person might think it's a little drier and the other person might think it's a little sweeter. But this one here is a semi Riesling. A little hint of some green apple, a little bit of honey.
I smell pear.
Wonderful, absolutely, and you sure could. Now this one here sells for $16.97, $17, and through Sunday we're selling it for $11. $11. Come in and buy as much as you want there. $11, and of course the La Franc is on sale as well. So
wow,
ooh,
that
nice.
Smells so good. This is such a summer patio picnic.
That's exactly right.
Wine. This is beautiful. I mean, as far as like fruit notes.
Nice and crisp. It does have those fruit notes in there, the melon and the, of course, all kinds of. It's extremely complex, and we add nothing to that. We add nothing to that.
So again, if you want a case of this, message us on Facebook, and we can start pulling some of these and putting your little name on top because. I have a feeling when people know that these yummies are going to be $11 a bottle, they're going to be out of here fast.
Through this Sunday. So come on in. You can call us. We'll ring it up and we can run it out to your door there. So, something else that creates the flavor profile are our aerators. When we open back up for on-site consumption, you can order a bottle of wine, and if you would like it aerated, we will send it through our full bottle aerators here. And what these will do, and this is one version here, and then I'm going to ask Ellen to show you another version of an aerator. This here is the full bottle one. There's a little bit of water on top. has two purposes. One, because when we pour in the bottle of wine, it's going to come up here, and this actually, some people think it might float out, so this creates a little bit of weight there. But something else you could also do is put this in the freezer and freeze it. Put a little crispness, a little crispness, not Christmas. Yeah.
Well, you know, whatever people want.
Whatever you want. That's right. Well, let me pour this right in here, and you can hear it. It's a beautiful sound, and of course, it's a beautiful. That's aerating it there. Now, what I always say, see, a little bit of a film is going on that round ball. Every bit of this wine is actually touching oxygen, and that is aerating it. And I always say that if you taste a wine, people go, well, how do I know when to aerate? Well, you aerate, if you taste a wine should be extremely complex. If you taste it and all you're getting is one or two notes out of it, aerate that guy. Because that wants you to taste all different types of flavors in there. So send it through the aerator, then taste it. Now you're tasting different notes in there. You're getting past just the strawberry up front. You're now getting into the other flavor profiles of that wine there. But then we serve it just like that, and then we pour it right into a decanter for you, and then we can serve it this way, or pour it right into your glass as well. These are full bottle aerators. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're expensive, and a lot of people don't have these because you have to have an island at the house because they don't fit underneath your cabinets or anything like that. So that's why most people end up going with an aerator that you put right on the bottle there. Would you like to see how that works? Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll ask Ellen to demonstrate that.
First thing on the ground, Ellen.
Yeah. So come over here.
Okay.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Ellen. I'm Hopwood's newest employee, and today I'm going to go over a few of our gizmos and gadgets to make the wine even better. So I'm going to start, so you just saw one aerator. This is a smaller version, and it's a 7-in-1. I like it because it's one thing, and you can do a whole bunch. So it comes in a packaging like this. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but it also filters the wine, which I love, because sometimes when I take the cork out, a little bit will get left, or there'll be something in the wine. Completely filter, so none of that gets in the glass of wine that you're drinking. And also it's no drip. It's a whole bunch of things. It's 7 things. No drip, and it can be covered. So if you're all done, you could just cover it up. So I'm going to show you how it works. Have you guys ever used something like this before?
Nope.
No. Yeah, they're really nice because you have so many uses. So you just put it on top and pour your glass of wine.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so it does the same sort of thing where it aerates the wine. Sometimes I'm just in the mood for the wine right when I get home from work. I just want to open up the bottle, so instead of kind of waiting an hour, this works perfectly. So yeah, smells really good. Yeah, really great. So yeah, and
how much are these?
These, so I'm glad you asked. We have a special deal going on for this week for the viewers. Everything's going to be 30% off all of our gizmos and gadgets, which with a purchase of wine. So yeah, it's originally $39.95, and that's going to be 30% off with any bottle of wine. And yeah, I'm drinking the delicious, it is a written bottle. It's a beautiful blend. It's really nice and approachable. It's good by itself or with food. But yeah, so glad I could show you a few of the gadgets. But yeah, 30% off this week with a purchase of wine. So it's a great deal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so what's this?
Well, Ellen has actually used one of these. These are extremely expensive. Yes, expensive, I said. That's right. You know, not everything in life is cheap, people. But this is well worth it. And Ellen's used it before, and we do sell them here. Ellen, do you want to just explain that? The carve-off.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah, so I love the Corpsman because when you have a special occasion bottle, I'm always scared because like you want to drink the whole bottle that one night to have it taste exactly how it should. The Corpsman does a really great job at preserving it, so you can enjoy it in a week, in 2 weeks, and it'll still be the same. And it does it by, it has kind of like a good little picture. So you insert the Corpsman, you tip it, and then you just kind of press the button on top, and the air will pressurize it. so there's no air that will get into the wine bottle. So it's a great way to preserve your wine, especially if you're making the investment to drink nice wine. You should be able to drink it for a while. So the Corpsman helps preserve it, and I highly recommend it.
But I think things like this is a great anniversary gift, because how many times do you kind of try to figure out what do we do to kind of say, okay, this is a little more special bottle of wine. You can do some, higher end wines with something like this, and it makes a lot of sense. And this is definitely anniversary season, or Father's Day. Father's Day is coming up here in a few weeks, and gifts like this are really fantastic with a few bottles of wine, because you can kind of pair those together and have something that's different and unique. And I think a lot of people struggle to find something a little different for dads at times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That there, people ask, they always say, well, I always finish my bottle of wine, which you will when you drink Hopwood wine. You'll always finish it. But I have a bottle of wine. It's 30-some years old. I got 2 of them. 30-some years old. And believe me, I want to taste it. That's when I'll break out the Corpsman. And we're going to break it out here probably the next month or two when we open up the new distillery. We're going to open to that. But I'm going to use the Caravan because I want to just be able to taste it. And then, as that needle goes down inside that cork, it displaces the wine you're taking out with the nitrogen and argon, and then I can put the bottle back and wait another 10 or 15 years if I want. That's what's wonderful about the Caravans there. So
very neat.
Yeah. Now, Ellen is where she is standing right now. That is where we prepare all our foods. So we do sell food here as well. We got baked breads, flatbreads. We have salmon, prosciutto, beef summer sausage and cheese and crackers and things of that sort. Everything to go wonderful with that wine there. And that's our little station there. Of course, we do sell vino shakes, which you're probably very aware of the vino shake.
Yum.
Yum. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So, would you like to talk about all these beautiful things on your wall, or should we just go to all the awards up here and just talk about all the bling you have hanging up here for your wine?
You are talking about my bling, and I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. I tell you, we have won a lot of medals, and these are not. I mean, these are big medals here. These are everything from the Midwest to out west to out east. I mean, there's lots of double golds up there. These are the best Cabernet in the country. We got that plaque on the wall there. To many, many double golds up there. Yeah, we're very, very, very proud of that wall up there, and I'm glad you pointed that out.
Well, that's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work. Yep. These are sent in. I judge a few competitions throughout the year as well. I don't enter the competitions that I judge at, but I do judge competitions, and it's extremely, very well played out. These competitions are. They're all done blindly. They're put behind the walls, and they have someone else that brings the wine up to us. Just puts the glass in front of us, and we will taste hundreds of them in a day. And then we just immediately make our decision on them. And then we keep bringing it down until we actually have trophy winners, double gold winners, silver, and of course bronze as well. But who talks about third? Who talks about second and third place? Doggone it.
Sometimes you work hard for that third.
I will take it if I'm left with nothing. We'll take it, of course. But yeah, we've won a lot of medals here. Because they are exceptional wines. That they are.
That's great.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about more about this. So then whenever people are out there in Facebook land and they want to order a case, what do they want to put in it? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, well, very easy. Just give us a call and we can take your credit card right over the phone there. We'll ring it up, we'll box it here, and then we'll wait till you drive by and we'll run it right out to you there.
So
very simple.
How do you have the store separated out? Is it separated out by varietals? Is it separated out by, yeah, tell us how that works.
Well, we don't have it separated out that way because of the fact that we want to take care of the big dry red fans and the very sweet fans as well. So we do mix very sweet right next to our very dries. Well, one, I'm a true wine lover. I would never, I don't want chicken every night. Why would I want the same wine every night?
Yeah.
And so many people get into that box there where they drink the same wine and that's all they drink. They don't know about the other flavor profiles of all the other different wines out there. So I'll drink a big dry red. It's like when I get invited to a lot of parties, and of course I always bring the case of wine. Remember that. I bring the case of wine.
I think he just said he wanted to be invited to your party.
Good parties, I love parties.
I think you'd be a good guest.
For that reason?
Yeah.
Well,
we all have our reasons.
So I just bought the party.
Yeah, you did.
I always ask a question. I always say, what type of party is it? Is it a sit down? Is it a meal party? Is it a social, more of a conversation party? Then I want to go with something on the drier side. I want to sip it. It's just there to fill the gap of my conversation. If they say, hey, it's a pool party, I don't want to bring a big dry red to a pool party. You don't want to drink a big dry red on a 90-degree day when you're jumping in the pool. I want something a little more refreshing. That's where I'll switch over to a white or something of that sort. So I bring the wine that I think will cater to that party. And that's why I'll drink big dry reds, and I'll drink the sweetest of the sweets. We came out with of course we had the Strauss collection for the big dry red fans. Those are $40, $50. Those are very expensive wines, no doubt about it. But then we also have the Hopwood wines, which are exceptional. Most of those awards are those. Those are the wonderful priced ones, anything from $15 to $25. Then we also, but a lot of people classified us as, wow, you have a lot of dry wines here. We're sweet fans. We don't want to discourage any sweet fans. So I came out with a candy wine collection. The candy wine collection. This is fun. These here we have, when they're gone forever. We only make them once. And right now we have the strawberry cake batter, eggnog, and we have
cake
cotton
batter?
banana. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And you want to talk about sweet? Extremely sweet.
Oh, I bet.
But here's the fun thing about that. If it's too sweet, add a little bit of 7-Up to it. You got yourself a poolside spritzer. Add a little bit of brandy to it. We have brandy to it that thins out the sweetness, still has all the flavor that you want to taste in there. You can make sangrias out of this. You can add a little bit of that while you're baking. Add some to your frosting if you want. We call them infusers. You can mix them with anything because they're big flavors and big sweets. But I came out with that collection for the simple fact that I didn't want to be toted as just the dry winery. I wanted to take care of everybody walking through this door. I had something for everybody here, so that's why we mix everything together.
Awesome. Okay, so what else do you want to showcase today? Because I'm sure that people, I love to drink wine. I don't know all the information about what I'm drinking. I'm sure there's a number of other people who are out there who are kind of the same way, who say, just tell me some good wines for someone who maybe doesn't have that elevated palate yet. They haven't been quite as informed as I'm getting here, as I'm spending more time with you.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for someone who just says, show me a good case of wine?
Yeah. Well, even in these times here, if you can't come up to the bar and do a tasting, call us. Our staff is prepared to answer the question over the phone. You give me an idea of what kind of wine you're thinking, what kind of beer you drink, what kind of sodas you drink. I can probably pinpoint into something that I think you're going to probably appreciate. That's how we are here. That's why we're a full winery here. We're here to discuss it with you, not just as a, there's the bottle, take it, and I hope you like it. I also guarantee my wine. If you take it and you don't like it, put that bottle in your trunk and bring it back, and I'll replace it with something else.
Oh, wow.
Because I think you're going to like the wine, because I think we're going to be able to help you get into a certain wine that you do like. Yes.
Which cab did you say was the best in the country? Like, which one was voted?
It's called It Is Written. It Is Written. They're wax sealed, and 3 years in the making. $56 a bottle there. We sell a lot of that. A lot of that cab. The American Wine Society, 7,000 members. They chose that one right there as the best.
That's
2019 best
wonderful.
cab. That's
Congratulations.
Nice. Thank you very much. Now, something else, along with the William Rose Distillery that we have over there. Remember, wine club members we're already inviting over to the other property to enjoy it. So become a wine club member and we'll take you over there. The William Rose came about. William, and I don't tell too many people this, William is my middle name and Rose is my daughter's middle name. So we brought her in on it. And then something else, people over the years, they've always asked me, and I tried to find the perfect person to give me the right label. Well, I found this wonderful designer to give me the exact label that I was looking for. But most designers wanted to personalize the label. I said, no, I want it to look very professional sitting on the shelf or at a restaurant or a liquor store or wherever. So I found this label here, but I always wanted, and so they put pictures of my kids on there and everybody else and pictures of me on there. I said, no, that's personalizing it. But to tell you a little secret, I did want to get my kids in there somehow, and I did on this one right here. This is the Moy de Quin. This one will get you $52 a bottle. This also is the Strauss collection, wax sealed. But Quinn, when they were little, Quinn and Sage would run down the hall And I'd say, who is that? And they'd yell out. They both sounded the same. So I said, no, who was that? And I got used to them saying, me Quinn or me Sage. And that's where Moy de Quinn comes from. It means me of Quinn. So it's my little remembrance. I never want to forget that that's what they said. And I bought them some dogs a couple years ago or last year. I wanted them to name it me Quinn and me Sage because I didn't want to forget that. I love that slogan, that name that they said, but they didn't choose it. But that's where me of Quinn, that's his, me Quinn. The lot on here, 1709, that's actually his birth date on there, so I included that in there. That's the house he was built in, or that he was born in right there. Oh wait, it is written. I'm sorry. Let me get you the Moy de Quinn. There's the Moy de Quinn. There it is. Sorry about that. I don't have my glasses. That's the Moy de Quinn, me of Quinn. There's his Petit Lot, which is actually his birth date. That's the house he was born in. And of course, Mélange. What's that last word after Mélange? Mélange.
The American?
American, yes. Which that's the
That was so fancy of me.
over here we say American.
Yep, that's right. Social distance high five.
Gosh, but that there is that means that Mélange Mélange Z means big blend, and the Z is for Zionsville.
Oh,
and so
nice.
that's why we brought that in. So there's a lot of coded stuff in this label, and most people don't know it. But I did bring my kids into this.
Love it.
And somehow or other, if you will.
Well, that's fantastic. And, you know, I love the fact that there's a story behind these because it does make it very personal. And, you know, I think as people sit around and chat over wine right now, especially things are, you know, we're having conversations that maybe we haven't had for years because maybe now we have the time. And, you know, I think a lot of people are ready to have those fun, okay, tell me more about our family's history with their parents.
Sure.
And over a great glass of wine, this is the time to do it. So that's awesome. So what else do you want to tell us about your fantastic wine?
Well, we put love in every single one of them. Of course, everybody toasts that, but we truly, truly do. Every one of these wines was tasted by me and my staff. We taste them all, and we taste them a lot.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, the staff is involved in everything from the making up to selling it up front. They're knowledgeable. They can help you guide you right into a good bottle of wine. We have wonderful specials all the time. It's not the cheapest wine because it's full wine. They're real wines. They're big wines. And that's what we want to make sure that everybody understands. They are not cheap wines. And we have a lot of people coming in here. They compare my wines. They'll come in and they'll taste the wine. They'll be like, yeah, it's just okay. But then after a few questions, you find out that they have what we call cellar palate. They have the palate of their own wine that they drink all the time. They'll never get outside their box because they're not mentally ready for it. And cellar palate is something that a lot of places have. That's where every single wine is made because of the vintner made it the way that he or she liked it. We don't have cellar palate here. These wines are chosen by the staff. The staff chooses these wines and helps make these wines, so that way we know what sells. And that's why we don't have cellar palate here.
Awesome. Again, where can they find you on your website and your phone number and all of those?
HopwoodCellars.com. Easy to get around on that website there. Phone number 317-873-4099. Give us a call. We can guide you right into anything at all.
And on Facebook as well?
Facebook as well. Hopwood Cellars Winery on Facebook too, yes.
And the specials that they are running right now are?
Right. The Blaufränkisch, regularly $50 on sale for $26, going through Sunday. The Cavort, the Semi-Riesling, little hints of some green apple, a little bit of honey, on sale for $11 a bottle, regularly $17. And then also, if you purchase a bottle, we're doing 30% off of any of our merchandise, 30% off with any bottle purchase there. Just wonderful deals, all going through Sunday, so come on in.
That's fantastic. So thank you for joining us today. Is there anything else you want to tell everyone in Facebook land before we go?
Well, I'll tell you, come to Zionsville. We can take care of the wine with you, and then we also have some wonderful shops here as well. So I think your day will be spent very well.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Tomorrow we will be at Jones Greenhouse at 2. So join us then for another edition of Keep the Lights On. We really appreciate you shopping Zionsville and shopping our fantastic purveyors of all different varieties here. Obviously, I tripped my way through the wine today. I'm so excited because I've learned more than I would have ever learned about wine, and I think that's fantastic.
Awesome.
We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Indeed.
So thank you for joining us. Make sure that you check in with us every day at 2 so you can see something new here from one of our Zionsville merchants. We appreciate you. We appreciate you shopping local and supporting folks that we want to be around for years to come. So thank you. Have a good day.
Cheers.